That was Hanwha Life Esports versus DAMWON Gaming, game number 1. DAMWON looked promising than ever so far in LCK 2020.
기분 좋게 시작한
I think Hanwha Life had a very favoring draft overall.
같은 경우는 자신들이 좋아하는 유미,
Hanwha Life took their comfort pick, Yuumi, and also Set, so they had a very blue team-ish composition overall. However, DWG Gaming went with their favorite picks as well, MF on the bot lane and also Echo with the Hail of Blades.
왜냐하면 이 게임은 1렙부터 18레벨까지 있는데 5렙 전만 보면서 칼날을 뽑은 게 약간
Hail of Blades is actually focusing before the 6 level mark of Echo, so Lyra at the beginning of the game didn't think it would be really that viable. However, Showmaker will manage to pull it off. How powerful this champion can be with the synergy with his rune he took. So let's talk about some of the highlights that happened in game. DWG was really solid as a team. So DWG, unlike their original style, they were trying to play around bot side. Beryl already burned all the spells from Zenith, so it was easier for them to play around Varus without any spell. So even though Haru came for a cover, well, Zenith looks really shaky already due to his champion pick and the deficit coming from his summoner spell. Leona in LCK has not been showing a lot of success so far in LCK, but this time, Beryl was able to show what he can pull off on this champion.
보여준 듯한 몸소 그렇게 좀 화끈하게 용처럼 이렇게 좀 보여준
심지어 레오나가 3번의
Plus,
꽂으면서
Leona
그전 두 장면은
was really powerful in terms of keep putting a lot of pressure to the Varus. So the byproduct of the strong laning phase and the pressure coming out of Leona, well, it was easier for them to pick up a kill in the early phase of the during the laning phase. So moving on, we have another highlight that could see how powerful Soraka can be in game. So Haru came in for a counter jungle. It was actually very legitimate because already Tempt was having a very strong lane. However, DWG Gaming was also really confident going in for this fight because they had Soraka on top side. They had this global ultimate that can always support them even on the other side of the map. So Hanwha Life Esports, they have a Yuumi Azure on their side, which actually has to wait for a late game. So those kind of mid-game skirmish is always favoring DWG Gaming. So DWG Gaming was smooth sailing throughout this game number 1. So Varus was having a lot of hard time. However, he locked it in after seeing Olaf and Leona, so maybe he kind of self-countered himself in terms of pick and ban. So it was not a very clever choice for AD carry. Let's check out who will be the player of the game coming out of DWG Gaming. Nuclear, who had his first hyper carry game coming in this split. A lot of people have been always saying that DWG needs another plan besides relying on just on Nuguri, but this time around, Nuclear finally proved himself how powerful he can be as a hyper carry AD performance. And recently, DWG also picked up Ghost as their substitute AD carry, so maybe this also could have been turnaround point for Nuclear to kind of step up for this game. So Nuclear picked up 9 votes out of 9 people for this POG, so no doubt this POG goes to Nuclear.
만장일치로 고스트 선수가 뉴클리어 선수가 뽑혔습니다.
Let's check out what will happen in game number 2 Hanwha Life versus DWG Gaming, because Hanwha Life, they have a very flexible AD carry players coming in for games. So this was Zenith's first game in LCK this split, so he got very punished by in game number 1. So we saw how strong DAMWON can be with Nuclear doing its role perfectly. So maybe Hanwha have to be ready, kind of go into kind of upgraded bot laners in DAMWON Gaming. So Hanwha Life should never pick Varus up against Olaf Leona with super hyper CCs on their hands. So let's check out whether they're ready with some of the clever pick and bans in game number 2.
Thank you so much, Jisun, for your translation as always. And here we are, yes, for game number 2. Myself and the Valdanalist himself are going to be joining us, as is Vista, making his way into the bottom lane. Surprise, surprise! Zenith, after ending a lot in game number 1, is going to be summed out, and Vista's going to make his way back in. So get your Aphelios bans ready. DAMWON Gaming, because you're not allowed to let Vista have that champion.
Yeah, I think we'll be seeing him banned. Regardless, him and Ornn and maybe even Soraka this time around. We'll have to wait and see if they focus on any of the healing champions. The Yuumi, unfortunately for Lehens, taking his first loss, now 8-1 rather than 8-0. His 20 KDA tarnished.
Yeah, something can be said about him playing it alongside Viper in the AD carry position every single time. Viper, a very smart man when it comes to positioning historically, and especially when he was on Griffin last year. So also, you know, Yuumi was a different champion as well back then, and we're not going to go into exactly what she was so busted for. As DAMWON going to ban away Azir as the first champion off the rank, and Zoe is going to be the answer.
Mid laners targeted everywhere, but we'll see.
Mostly here in the LCK.
Yes, true. Yeah. And we'll see if they decide to, you know, go for kind of the game of chicken that you can do in the pick ban, try to leave all the OPs available. Looks like they're not going to go into that just yet, as Ornn is going to hit the bench.
Well, Aphelios is going to remain available. See where the set gets looked at. Looks like a set first pick is a possibility now, with Ornn and Soraka both banned away. DAMWON probably tossing up whether Aphelios or Yuumi needs to be banned here, and the Yuumi is the decision that they're going to make. Just get that out of the hands of Lehens, and despite it losing in game number 1, they still respect the pick enough to ban it away. Certainly wasn't the Yuumi's fault that that game was lost. Not that I'm pointing blame anywhere specifically. Not at all.
Maybe not specifically.
Okay, Aphelios is available, and we'll see whether it's going to be snapped up, and it should be, as it is Nuclear that's playing it. We'll see whether he can prove himself on a very coveted pick. Cuvée now able to lock away the set himself, and there's the center once again. Will DAMWON pick away the Tahm Kench? It looks like they will. That will probably force Lehens to play the center, but he's already played it in the past in the support role. He was one of our debuting support centers when she was more commonly found in the AD carry position. So no worries there. 5 seconds to go before this Tahm Kench is locked in, but it's not actually going to happen. The Taric will be picked up into the bottom side.
Yeah, the Taric, kind of an interesting one. Can be used alongside of a Kalista, but alongside of Aphelios, we haven't seen all too much, but I suppose just in terms of being popular nowadays, we will see it come out. I saw that Singed flash for just a moment. It's really good against Set, but we'll reconsider.
Going to be the J4, just a simple one being picked up there as Showmaker was flashing things around. And the Tahm Kench, of course, is going to be the lock-in here on Hanwha's side. So let's see how they do, the center famine lane on the bottom side. And with Vista here, you have to expect that the bottom lane is going to go slightly differently than it did in game number 1. And by slightly, I mean a lot.
You should get better at using your, choosing your adjectives or your adverbs, I suppose.
You gotta try and mix it up. You gotta try and mix it up. As, the Gnar being banned away. The counter pick that we hate here the most on the English broadcast of the LCK. Gonna be denied. It's Summit that's had the most success with the Gnar counter pick, in my personal opinion. As now DAMWON, where are they going to focus their bans? The jungle is a likely place, but Haru's champion pool has been known to be quite deep. The first one taken away is the Gragas, however.
Haru has played 7 different champions so far. Hasn't played any games of Gragas, funnily enough. But either way, still a high-tier jungle that they want to target away.
So far, it's purely physical damage on Hanwha's side, so likely to see another magic damage jungler, namely the Elise, something like that. Echo to be banned as the 5th spot on Hanwha's side. Not wanting Showmaker to have as much fun on his Hail of Blades Echo this time, as Canyon already has the Jarvan. 12 seconds to go before they figure out which other jungler they're going to be banning away. I don't think the Elise necessarily needs to be looked at, because I imagine that Canyon's probably going to be okay with finding an Elise in the jungle, but the Sejuani is going to be the choice here, taken away from Haru.
Yeah, Sejuani gets taken away. I was thinking maybe an Olaf or something like that. Haru has played it before, but not going to come off the board, as Rumble will finally be brought in here. I feel like that is a decent pick for themselves. They needed magic damage, but also potentially a takeaway pick, as Jarvan Rumble has been quite popular nowadays in terms of a combination. Can
Yeah, I really like
in the
that.
top lane as well.
And also, it synergizes well with things like the Dawning Shadow, the fact that you can follow up on these superplexes coming in from Cuvée, as Showmaker now going to be taking out his Cassiopeia. We've got Snakes and Crocs coming through, very reptilian of DAMWON here in the last couple of picks, but no, not going to be that one as the Kale being considered. It is one of the picks that Noguri has taken into set in the past successfully, but this would be what Keen decided to go with, and it just straight up did not work.
I'm watching Nuggery talk while he's deciding which pick to go for, and it kind of looks like he's barking orders at the rest of his teammates. He's like, no, Kale, no, Aatrox, yeah, Aatrox. And then he decides on that one, as, I mean, he is such a great carry player. I can't blame him if that's what's actually happening, just deciding what he wants to try to carry on in the lane, as I feel like they did go for a couple of specifically lane positive matchups, if you will, with the Cassiopeia into the Rumble and the Aatrox up in the top side into the set.
Well, I personally hate the Elise, but the rest of the Hanwha composition does look pretty good. As we can see right here, a lot of long-range engage, long-range damage. Tempt had one of the better mid-lane Rumbles, in my humble opinion. And looking forward to seeing what he can make of it, as the coaches will take a bow and see what Zephyr's done here for DAMWON and whether it's actually going to pay off, as they did get their hands on the Aphelios, and now it's time for Nuclear to back up what was a hard carry performance in Game 1 with another one in Game 2 on such a coveted pick. Showmaker as well, now having a lot of DPS available to him on the Cassiopeia, and we're going to see more of a straight-up matchup top lane with the Aatrox. And he does have Canyon on the Jarvan alongside him, so a lot of gank potential for this Jarvan in the earlier stages of the game on the top side with all of the CC that an Aatrox can provide.
Yeah.
But over here, pretty balanced draft out of Hanwha. Don't necessarily like the Elise as much as I mentioned earlier, but Facebreaker into Cocoon is certainly going to be an option here. Their top side is going to be strong, and so the top side 2v2 is something we're going to be looking out for in this particular match as we get onto Summoner's Rift for game number 2.
I'm curious about this Cassiopeia pick. I know it's pretty good into melee champions such as Rumble and stuff like that, but against the composition, I suppose against the set it's pretty good, but against everything else doesn't feel so great.
Oh, Canyon, you can see going commando this game. That's the commando Jarvan skin, like it. As our Showmaker is going to pop his head in, gets himself a twin Fang, and will get snared up. Just takes a little bit of damage there as Vista shoots him just one time. They will go back, just testing the waters. There's a couple of wards do go down. Look, checking out for a blue side start for Canyon.
Ooh, Gathering Storm by Showmaker. That's
what a god.
It's going to make Little Sick pretty happy, I'd have to imagine, because
oh, Tempt is scorching.
you would think into the melee champion you would pick up the Scorch and try to harass him out of lane, but that just doesn't really happen at this level. So Instead, he decides to go for the Gathering Storm, looking towards the late game as the late game carry Cassiopeia rather than the lane dominant one in terms of that one rune.
Well, let's see how this more supportive center alongside the Tahm Kench is going to do against the Aphelios. Right now, they're not even in lane yet, so we're not going to be able to check it out just here. As Nuclear and Beryl, see how they play this one out. Canyon making his way up towards the enemy red buff, but you can see pings out as Haru was letting everyone know exactly where he was going. Canyon going to pull this one into the brush, but Haru, I believe, is going to see it beforehand. And good positioning there as Haru's going to pick that one up. The patient's not going to run out on the Brambleback, and that's just going to waste a hell of a lot of time as Canyon didn't want to try and go for that 1v1 smite contest on the red. Good early start for Haru.
Yeah, Haru flew straight to the red is what allowed him to get there on time. And should have been able to save his smites and all that good stuff, as he does have that still available. Can use that up there in Krugs if he wants to. Down here on the bottom side, this is going to be interesting because we get Aphelios back finally after, I don't know how many games in a row he's been banned up against this new composition, this new combo that looks pretty OP nowadays in the LCK. So we'll have to see which one of those can come out ahead.
Which one is the most broken, I guess, is going to be what we're going to learn as Showmaker trying to offer some damage back to Tempt, but you can see already that Tempt is trading out pretty well. Flame Spitter's working as Facebreaker lands onto Noguri. As Haymaker doesn't find the sweet spot, as Cuvée is going to have that Conqueror online. But you can see Haru lying in wait, seeing where the Noguri is going to overextend, and he does. Cocoon is going to land. They should have the burst damage as Umbral Dash is not enough. And First Blood goes over to the set, as once again, the Aatrox is not a counterpick into this. Like, I don't... Noguri has so many other options.
We should have seen the Singed.
Yeah, I know.
I would have liked to see that instead. Yeah, I mean, it's typical Nuggery things as well. Gets first blooded as he goes really aggressive there, doesn't have any information on where the Elise is. And he gets caught out, and that's going to open up some of the extra jungle here for Haru. And they might even consider revisiting the lane, although Nuggery did keep his flash up. So see if he can handle the 1v3.
Not to mention the wave is crashing down as well, but it's not quite as large as Hanwha Life would have otherwise
crash
wanted.
The wave.
Yeah, you can see Noguri actually wanted to hold on to that one, but maybe now he's going to rethink his idea. Flashes to get underneath the turret, but the repel is all too good. And Tempt actually tanking it up for quite a long time. However, he does make it to relative safety, and the 0-2-0 power spike for Noguri has hit at 4 minutes into the game.
That's one way to get your set ahead, that's for sure. And I love what he was doing, trying to avoid the wave crashing into the turret, but it's just too hard. Elise, everybody loves to laugh at Elise, but once she dives your turret multiple times, it becomes, oh, right, now we know why pro players love this pick, because in a compositional sense, yeah, I mean, it's maybe not the greatest with what they have, but in terms of ganking the top lane a billion times and being successful at it, I mean, it's going to be really good at that. So. Yeah. Props to Haru for making the Elise work so far, as they get a couple of ganks already onto Nuggery. But knowing him, he's not going to back down from this. He's going to play just the same.
Well, he's going to face check Cuvée. That's probably not what he wants to do, is at least the Infernal Chains arm, but look at how far ahead Cuvée is. That Haymaker really hurting, as Nuggery loses out on that trade. Now even the World Ender is not going to be as effective. Executioner's Calling now picked up for Cuvée, was his first item as he went back home. Now with the minion wave once again landing and no turret plates to be taken just yet. The turret being quite frustrating. As you can see, Haru is back yet again.
Might as well. No flash this time.
Hard game.
And Cuvée, so no flash, and Cuvée has suplex. So he's basically just, he's destroyed. Like.
Yeah, and now the repel is going to be there, so of course, no worries when it comes to juggling the turret aggro. They don't necessarily do it perfectly, but that is a 0-3-0 Aatrox once again, and this is why they picked the Elise. It was to just hard smash top lane as quickly as possible.
One way to do it. And they didn't even bother using the set ultimate. They're like, yeah, okay, we can just line up the Cocoon because there's no flash, there's no way he's going to dodge it. So it's just hell up there in the top lane, and how about a fourth time?
Oh god, Haru just lives here. So, Agatha is once again available, so Haru will be taking that one away from Canyon as Nuclear avoids the snare out of Vista. Good stun landing from Beryl, as you saw, and they allow the Guardian to tank up a lot of damage. Vista down to 300 here as the Gravitum slowing up the center quite a lot underneath his turret. Not showing quite the same level of staying power that this center Tahm showed us in the last matchup, as Lehens has teleport and heal with his unsealed spellbook. Yeah, Nuggery's in a rough state right now. Is Haru going to find Canyon with the cocoon?
Yeah, Haru, he's level 6. He's doing really well, but he has a lot of standing gold. As you can see, he's sitting on 1,000 in his inventory, so his items didn't really reflect where he's actually at on the game, so he's actually got to go back. He's been so present up in the top lane that he hasn't even had too much time to buy his items, and it has shown.
No. You got to get all them cannons, Nuggery. Down half the CS exactly, as Equalizer is traded for a Miasma. Showmaker takes half of his health bar damage.
I wonder why he didn't even bother throwing out the cocoon. Like, might as well just try. I suppose if Canyon's right there, you might need it, but maybe just try to bait out a flash from the enemy mid laner. But I suppose Showmaker with Cleanse as well. You just said, okay, this gank isn't going to work.
Oh, we're right on the spawn of the Rift Herald, as Nuclear has the Crescendum Severum combo of ultimate close range power. Canyon down here just clearing out vision, and Hanwha Life do have to play back, but so far it's only about 12 CS, the margin between the Tahm Kench and the Aphelios. And with a top lane that's winning this hard, having a bottom lane within about Kui, you know, of the opponent is certainly good news, as we are just hard smashing this lane on Hanwha's side.
Yeah. And, well, meanwhile, Canyon is doing the enemy wolves. So he's getting value there. He's taking away the enemy jungle. It's hard for me to say that without laughing, but when you get this far behind, it is hard for Canyon to do much. He had to be there for the first, the second, and third game.
Well, now we've got to dive towards the bottom side of the map. Vista in trouble, but does get devoured as there's the ultimate out of the turret, keeping everyone alive. But Nuclear, there's a lot of chakrams, but it's not enough to actually get a kill as the dive fails and they lose their inner turret top lane.
Yeah, and look at the trade on the bottom side. They both survive here. They are going to take it very passively, Vista and Lehens. They'll let them get a couple of plates, but they want to make sure that no follow-up dive is happening here afterwards, as they will get a little bit behind on CS, but the dive is overall a failure, as here's Kive.
Yeah, looking to try and get in onto Showmaker here. He does have flash, but he gets suplexed back into the team, and that's all too easy. It's the overflow effect of this top lane going completely awry for DAMWON.
And all of a sudden, it looks like Hanwha Life are the favored team in this series, as the gold lead is already pretty massive, and their set is 4-0.
Yeah, absolutely crushing. I mean, Nuclear is 30 CS ahead, but they weren't able to actually get any kills underneath that turret, get any meaningful damage down onto it either. And yes, they've lost 2 turrets, right? So that is going to inflate the gold lead beyond what is theoretically reasonable, but this flow-on effect is the important part, right? Juve just gets that flash forward, makes sure that Showmaker is also put down, and now both solo lanes for DWG in trouble.
너무 잘한다.
Our team is really good. Our team plays really well, is what he said.
Well, so far, they are certainly doing that. As this is going to be all about Nuclear once again. See what this Aphelios is going to do as this game continues. Looks like he's building for Infinity Edge first, which is not often what we see. It's often the Essence Reaver coming down as item number 1. We'll see how this one changes. Might be Infinity Edge into Runan's Hurricane this time or something like that.
Kive is 2,000 gold ahead of the Aphelios. Not even just his lane opponent, he's more ahead of him.
Yeah,
but if we're going like carry for carry in that sense, Kive is pretty fed right now.
Extremely rich.
He's got Trinity Force at 11 minutes, plus Executioner's Calling.
He's 4-0. He's a very happy man. As Haru just going to solo out this dragon. Barrel gets a ward over. Haru sees it, but I don't think it's going to deter him. Showmaker trying to get some poison down on Attempt, but Attempt is also a pretty happy guy here in this mid lane. And there's the dragon falling down in favor of Hanwha. It is going to be Ocean Soul this game, as Noguri at least finds himself an Infernal Chain, but will get haymakered. Still feels like Cuvée isn't just straight up smashing the 1v1, but yeah, I don't think Noguri is going to want to stick around for any length of time.
Yeah. Anytime that Cuvée even shows that he wants to take a fight, Noguri's immediately in defensive mode. It's just like, okay, fine. I'll let you have the lane. And when you don't even have half a completed item up against the guy who's got 1.5, that's what you do have to take, essentially.
Well, Gravitum Infernum locked down here for Nuclear. You really want to be utilizing that Infernum. Once the Runans comes in, so much AoE damage available there. Doesn't quite have that one up. So we'll see whether DAMWON can recover. See whether they can actually kill anyone this game. So far, that hasn't happened. Now Cuvée going to come over and try and take down some of the turret plates here in the mid lane. Still, minute and 15 seconds before the turret plates do fall down. So some more standing gold opportunities for Hanwha around this map to extend this gold lead, now sitting at about 4,000. Huge deal, despite the bottom lane being so far behind.
We're in the trench right now.
Oh yeah.
It's minute 13. That does come down to Noguri's going in.
Yeah, looking for it. Canyon's going to come down as Cuvée might be giving away a big amount of shutdown gold, and he will be. Gets the suplex, and Noguri's going to grab it with the World Ender. A massive pivot point in the game for DAMWON, and a whole lot of money into Noguri's back pocket.
Wow, so is there actually a way that DWG come back in this game? In my mind, I was honestly like, okay, well, this is just way too far as, okay.
Oh dear.
That's one way to do it.
Yeah. That's just to make sure that Noguri doesn't get a bounty of his own, you know?
Yeah,
You gotta guarantee
really
that. But yeah, Haru lying in wait, and face-checking Aatrox is not gonna survive the damage of a fed Elise. But Black Cleaver now completed for Noguri, so he's able to use that money to get himself some item timings.
Yeah, just comboed him down, and Cuvée was just going for a walk in the woods, you know? It's one of those things, you know, you're feeling a little bit pensive and you're wondering what to do with your time. Go for a nice little walk through the woods, but
needs to go and revisit Hansel and Gretel, I think.
Yeah.
The woods, Little Red Riding Hood as well. Yeah, the woods are a bad place.
Generally, if you don't have vision and you don't know where the enemy jungler is, I don't care how fed you are, you can still get 1v2'd.
Yeah. May not be the big bad wolf, but the big bad spider is more frightening. You guys have played Twisted Treeline, you know? Like, that guy's real scary. Nuclear. Fair bit of damage there, but okay, Moonlight Vigil thrown out as a panic maneuver and misses completely. Bit of a disaster. Let's hopefully move away from that lane for the moment, as the outer turret in the mid lane is going to be taken down. Bang on 15 minutes. That's 3 turrets now for Hanwha Life, who are trying to snowball this into a victory. Canyon moves on over. They will be able to take down Shirley before she gets too much more work done, but not after a second charge. Very high value 5 turret plates on the top side, 2 in mid for Hanwha Life, and only 1 turret plate on the bottom side for DAMWON. As Nuclear, yeah, I mean, you might be able to say that you're baiting, but that's not really going to allow Canyon to get in there if your health bar is that low.
Yeah, it's crazy how much Senna does with basically no farm. Just single-handedly created room for Lehens to just sit there and farm. He's like barely even doing anything. He throws out a couple of tongue lashes, and that's about it.
Yep.
It's a pretty strong duo, those two.
Yeah, once you get a couple of those stacks in, it certainly is frightening. As Infinity Edge is done here for Nuclear, has himself a crit cloak on top of it. Seraph's Embrace done for Showmaker as well. And as this mid-game rolls around, DAMWON's composition will start coming together a little bit better. Because the composition is relatively low range, depending of course on what Aphelios' weapons are, but they can utilize the Cosmic Radiance quite well. And so we'll see whether Hanwha can play around that as we move further into this game. And they won't necessarily need to as much as in other games because they are so far ahead. They still will need to be conscious of how DAMWON wants to team fight. Because they are about to hit some timings here in this game. The burning face on the way for Showmaker. I hope.
The burning face.
Yeah, Leandro's told me. Burning face.
I guess that's
That's a
one way to call it.
spawnism. That's a spawnism.
Yeah.
You'll have to blame good old
Okay.
Jake Tiberi for that one over in the OPL.
I'm going to send him a angrily worded email
Oh,
later.
You could do that if you want.
Burning face.
I don't think it's too much of it. Burning face, kind of cool.
Yeah. We get the Ocean Soul coming in here, and the first one is going to be picked up by Hanwha. And the game has kind of stagnated at around 3,000, 3,500 gold difference here. The bottom lane, even though the trades were not looking so great for Nuclear, once they do open up the map, I think that Aphelios is still going to do Aphelios things, as he's farmed pretty nicely, the most farm in the game currently.
Yep.
The question is, can DAMWON win a couple of games in a row off the back of Nuclear? One player, the 80 carry, which absolutely never happens.
Well, he's now got a pretty good pick available to him as the snare is going to come down onto Showmaker, but otherwise he's going to be absolutely fine. Canyon continues stealing away the enemy jungle, but Haru is well and truly even when it comes to those camps. In fact, dead even. And now has the Morellonomicon. I wanted to say Leandri's because I felt like it should have been a Leandri's, but instead it is the Monomnomicon. Barrel's got some healing available to him, I guess.
No.
Yeah, the Morello no-icon. Well, Cassiopeia has inherent sustain in her kit as well as the Aatrox and I guess lifesteal on the Aphelios as well. So it may be a little bit more valid. You know, just if Nuclear only had access to Severum, you know, there we go. High value.
Yeah, he's
Carrot
making it
kills.
have value.
As far as total gold is concerned, as you were talking about, it's not quite 2,000 gold, but Cuvée is going to wander out of these infernal chains. Canyon still had flag and drag, so he's going to be fine. It's crazy. Noguri just always plays aggressively. It doesn't even matter what's going on. As he's got 30% CDR, he's actually hit a pretty strong point on this Aatrox right now. As Haru does spot Canyon out, doesn't throw out the cocoon just yet. And Cuvée is going to back away. What do you have to do to stop Noguri from playing aggressive? I don't know what. I don't know what it is.
Nothing.
Oh, it's Ryleigh's completed first here for Showmaker. Will show that the Leandris will be coming in second. Synergy with those two is certainly very strong.
We'd hope so.
Yeah.
There are some pro players, won't name any names, that do not know the synergy between those two items.
Indeed. Yeah, Noguri continues to play aggressive. Takes down this control ward, dashes over the wall. Moonshot not going to land there from Nuclear, but it looks like DAMWON are able to wrestle at least a little bit of control back. And as you can see, this gold lead is in fact shrinking for Hanwha. See whether DAMWON now in this mid-game, as they do have a couple of their items completed. I mean, the Aatrox is never going to be as powerful as this. It's not going to have that teamfight presence like a set is going to in the later stages of the game. And look, he's never going to be that powerful this game because he was put in such a deep hole, but the Cassiopeia is strong. Her third item completion will spell a big power spike for this particular Cassio build as well. We'll see whether DAMWON can play around it, especially assuming that Nuclear will have about 2.5 items at that point as well. Cocoon does land here onto Canyon, but he's pretty strong. Puts up his shield and is going to be all right, but this inner turret is touched a couple of times and is taken down by the minions.
Yeah, just trying to deny as much vision in the jungle as possible, as Humalife do have a nice pink composition with Senna, Rumble, Elise, and even Cuvée if he's around the area. And the ability to pile on once you get that first pick is pretty out of this world, especially with the lead, as now DAMWON are trying to retake their jungle.
Yep, control ward over the wall from Beryl. They are able to do just that, like you were talking about. The one ward down here is going to provide a little bit of extra vision for Hanwha, as you can see on the bottom side jungle. But DAMWON probably not too upset about how well they've recovered this game. Nuclear very close to item number 2, and he is eons ahead of the bottom lane of Hanwha right now.
Absolutely. A lot of the cards are in the Nuclear basket. You also have Showmaker as kind of a secondary carry. And Nuguri, surprisingly enough, after getting dunked, and I mean absolutely dunked in the top side, he's the same level as Kive. They're, you know, the farm, he's behind, what, 19 CS? After dying 4 times, and they're the same level? Getting that extra kill, the follow-up kill, was so important for the side of DAMWON and Nuguri.
Well, Tempt is going to move on over as there's a knock-up onto Kive. The dunk comes in, but the equalizer comes down as well as the response. It is going to be the ultimate to block any of that Dawning Shadow damage that I don't think DAMWON would have even worried about anyway. As now Tempt walks over a ward and gets knocked up once again. Miasma is down nowhere for the Rumble to go, and DAMWON, they're pulling this game back as Haru lands the cocoon. It's onto Nuclear, he just explodes! Oh no, exactly the player you didn't want to die, but still they have a man advantage as Beryl, relatively low. They go for the fight once again as now Nuguri finds himself right on top of the center. She has to flash to get herself out of there, and Haru is on the wrong side of this battle. It is still going to be relatively 50-50 if Haru can blast cone his way over, but no, he's not going to be able to find this Ocean Soul. Another snare onto Nuguri this time, and he is going to blow up, and a teleport now from Kive as he makes his way back into the fight. But we've evened out the Drakes, and DAMWON do manage to strike first.
Now, Hanwha can move onto the Baron from here with the TP. It looks silly at first because he was never going to join the fight, but it at least gets him with this team over here to hop straight onto this objective. Haru is actually hitting like a truck onto Squishies as it's going to be scanned out. They see Haru is in the brush. Canyon is going to have to try for a steal, I'd imagine, here.
Yep, Showmaker spots them all out, down to 3,100 health as the Miasma comes in. It is a big ult out from Showmaker, who doesn't have a stopwatch, so isn't going to be able to keep himself alive. And Hanwha, all of DAMWON pile in on top of them. Kive dunks down on the Aphelios in the backline. Nuguri trying to do what he can, but he can't do anything. It is a clean ace, a triple kill for Haru, and I have no idea what DAMWON thought they were going to be able to achieve.
Oh my god, that was really, man, that was a big throw from DAMWON one at a time. Starts off great, you're thinking, oh, DAMWON looking pretty good to pull this game back. They get the 1 kill, they find Tempt on the ward as he comes on in here. And, oh man, it's, everything looks great for them. And then
the Nuclear's positioning here, topside, is just,
yeah, you shouldn't
move
be standing
towards
there,
your
actually.
control ward, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's,
I mean, you know they're all standing
see.
there and that they have pick. You should not be standing there. So that was mistake number 1 from the side of DAMWON. Good job by Hanwha to back away and make the most of the situation. They knew they could try to turn it after the dragon fight because there was still a lot of dragon health left available. So they wait until it goes down. They come over the wall. TP comes in and they get the pick, and then go to Baron. And now it's like, okay, Showmaker's gonna go. And he nearly kills the Senna, but stopwatch, a great item. 2 of them get baited in. Nuclear's all alone, has no cover. And then the TP comes in late as he's desperately trying to join up with his team. It's just one big disastrous team fight that all got baited by getting the Senna low and then the stopwatch. Again, best item in the game.
yep,
is going to keep him alive and is going to bait DAMWON in there. So Hanwha, even though it looked like they nearly threw it at the dragon, DAMWON immediately throw it right back.
Yeah, that's what happens in a game of tennis or ping pong that we like to talk about so often. Still the base yet to be broken as we have a 2,000 gold Baron power play, equating to about 9,000 gold the lead for Hanwha. That should only be extending as this game goes on. 2 minutes until the Ocean Drake is back on the Rift as far as the next neutral objective. But let's see whether Hanwha in the next minute of Baron are going to be able to break open the base. As it looks like we're going the distance tonight. Valdez, the Valdanalist, going to be tested for his final day before LS makes his way back, and we get the regular Brent Valdez. As okay, Showmaker just taken out before the fight has even well and truly begun. And Nuclear comes back and notices that they're without a mid laner. Kive behind the enemy turret, looking for a superplex onto a priority target. Doesn't even need to use it there, as the Haymaker gives him the gigantic shield. Nuguri dies as an afterthought. This inhibitor is also going to be going down. Looks like Hanwha are just going to go straight towards these Nexus turrets. And I loved it. Loved how Hanwha have played out this game so far. Canyon gets in there with the Cataclysm, tries to get out again, but he isn't going to be able to. Lehens tries to get the flash ton lash. That was a fun one.
Philios.
As Nuclear, what's he going to be able to do here? Some low health bars. As Moonshot doesn't do anything, doesn't find any targets. And now he's the last man standing, the last option, the last bastion of hope. And they have no Nexus turrets, no Philios. And now, no Nexus, we're going to a deciding game between DAMWON and Hanwha Life Esports. Unless Showmaker kills everyone right here, which I don't think he will be able to.
He's trying to get one kill, and he does. Picks up the one as Hanwha Life, a very strong early game. They used that Elise to its great potential, and they didn't even need Renekton as they pick it up there and make the win happen. We are both going to give our votes over to Haru. He was really the engine to the car that was the Hanwha Life vehicle that pushed them through that early game, got them fed up, and even though they nearly had some trouble around the Drake, they were swiftly able to shut down DAMWON's hopes. And I was expecting Hanwha to come in here and actually 2-0 them. This looks more like the Hanwha I was expecting, and I suppose the DAMWON I was expecting as well.
Well, actually, I was expecting the DAMWON victory here for this series. I just thought that they'd be able to abuse the top lane matchup, but it actually happened the other way around in game number 2, where Hanwha were able to get up there and just abuse Nogari's want to overextend, as his forward percentage certainly very, very high no matter what the game state is. It was a pretty brutal camp, and you could see that despite the Aphelios having a great laning phase, being able to farm things out very, very well, the positioning in the later game fights was just, I don't want to say anything mean, so I'm just not going to say anything at all.
It existed.
That's what my mum taught me.
Yeah.
She said, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. So as far as Nuclear's post 11-minute play, my answer is that.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
He did a lot of damage, but you know, a lot of it was AoE, Aphelios things.
And a lot of it was non-impactful damage, right?
Yeah.
Like, it was damage that was then healed up by Senna's Piercing Darkness, things like that. I really did appreciate Haru's play on the Elise. I think it was a well-deserved MVP. Fantastic stuff. Elise is a hard champion to pilot these days. Hasn't seen a lot of victories here in the LCK, but if Haru keeps playing like that, he should be able to show exactly why she is such high priority. But guys, we will have a deciding match after the break. We are going the full 6 games tonight, and we will see you for the final one very shortly.
같이 나갔다. 같이. 야 맞다. 편하게. 나왔어. 진짜 가자. 아 쏘지게. 야 가자 얘들아 가자. 일단 라인. 가자. 뭐 그런 거 어딨어? 야 그냥 달려. 빵돌 나가 얘들아. 아 이거 사. 가자. 천천히 나. 아이 그냥 들어가. 싸워. 그냥 죽이라고. 야 달린다. 나 쏘지게 있어. 오케이. 내가 봐줄게. 얘들아 이거 천천히 싸우고 안 달려. 내가 치료할게. 야 왔다. 달라붙어. 천천히 봐. 달라붙어. 살이 넣어. 나 살이 잡았어. 살이 넣어. 앞으로 가. 앞에 봐. 사워 얘들아. 앞에 높은 사워. 이제 사워. 살려줘. 사워 맞아. 사워. 88초 남았다. 88초. 야 내가 앞에 탈게. 힐. 오케이. 80 남았다 얘들아. 야 올라봐. 사올게. 짱세다. 슬로 왔어.
천천히 가.
칼질 보여줘. 보여주란 말이야. 나이스. 야, 우리 잘했다, 이거. 나이스지?
바로